Welcome to today's history. It's May 15th, a date packed with monumental moments that changed the course of history. From the birth of modern diplomacy to the rise of global fast food. From an animated mouse's debut to a record-breaking space mission. Today's story spans centuries and continents. If you love history that entertains and inspires, you're in the right place. Let's dive into May 15th. Chapter 1. The Treaty of Westphalia, 1648. On May 15, 1648, the Treaty of Westphalia officially ended the devastating 30 Years' War, a conflict that had ravaged Central Europe and claimed millions of lives. But this treaty did more than bring peace. It transformed the way nations interact forever. For the first time, the concept of state sovereignty was recognized, meaning each nation could govern itself without outside interference. This was a groundbreaking shift away from the old order, where empires and religious powers dominated. Westphalia also laid the foundation for modern diplomacy, ushering in peace negotiations, legal equality among states, and the idea of non-intervention. In many ways, it's where the modern international system was born. So, while the war ended, a new era of nationhood and balance of power had just begun. Chapter 2. James Puckle and the Invention of the Machine Gun, 1718. On May 15, 1718, British inventor and lawyer James Puckle received a patent for what many considered the world's first machine gun. Called the Puckle gun, this tripod-mounted weapon could fire multiple rounds without needing to reload after each shot, a revolutionary idea at the time. What made it truly unique was its cylinder-based design, which allowed the operator to fire 9 shots per minute, a staggering rate compared to the standard single-shot muskets of the 18th century. Though it never saw widespread use in battle, the Puckle gun laid the groundwork for the future of rapid-fire weaponry. It was an early glimpse into the industrialization of warfare, proving that even in the early 1700s, the seeds of modern military technology were already being planted. Chapter 3. The Start of the 7 Years' War, 1756. On May 15, 1756, Great Britain officially declared war on France, marking the beginning of the 7 Years' War, one of the first truly global conflicts in human history. It wasn't just a European affair. This war stretched from the forests of North America to the coasts of India, involving nearly every major power of the time. In the American colonies, it became known as the French and Indian War, where British and colonial forces clashed with the French and their Native American allies. The war reshaped empires, drained treasuries, and redrew borders across continents. More than just a military confrontation, it set the stage for the American Revolution and even influenced political change in Europe. The 7 Years' War was a turning point in global history, an early sign that the world was becoming more interconnected, and that empires would rise and fall on a global scale. Chapter 4. Mickey Mouse's First Appearance, 1928. On May 15, 1928, a little cartoon mouse made his quiet debut in a silent short film called Plain Crazy. That mouse, none other than Mickey Mouse. Created by Walt Disney and Ub Iwerks, Mickey didn't speak in his first outing, but he had something even more powerful: personality. Full of charm, energy, and a bit of mischief, Mickey captured the imagination of audiences and laid the foundation for the Walt Disney Empire. Though his true breakout came later with Steamboat Willie, Plain Crazy was the spark that lit the flame. From this small beginning, Mickey Mouse would go on to become one of the most recognizable and beloved characters in the world. More than just a cartoon, he became a cultural icon representing imagination, joy, and the birth of modern animation. Chapter 5. The First Academy Awards, 1929. On May 15, 1929, Hollywood took a historic step toward glamour and prestige with the very first Academy Awards ceremony, held at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel. It was a private dinner with just 270 guests, but it marked the birth of what would become the most iconic awards show in the world. Back then, the winners had been announced 3 months earlier, and the ceremony lasted only 15 minutes. Wings, a silent film about World War I, won Best Picture, setting the tone for nearly a century of cinematic celebration. Over time, the Oscars evolved into a global phenomenon, spotlighting the power of storytelling, honoring artistic excellence, and defining pop culture. From that humble evening in 1929, an entertainment legacy was born. Chapter 6. The Founding of McDonald's, 1940. On May 15, 1940, in San Bernardino, California, brothers Richard and Maurice McDonald opened a small drive-in restaurant that would go on to revolutionize how the world eats McDonald's. At the time, their focus was speed, simplicity, and afford. They introduced what became known as the Speedy Service System, a new way of preparing food assembly line style, which allowed them to serve burgers, fries, and shakes faster than ever before. This innovation caught the attention of milkshake machine salesman Ray Kroc, who would later transform McDonald's into a global franchise empire. Today, McDonald's serves over 60 million people daily across more than 100 countries. But it all started with one simple idea in 1940. Fast food, done faster and better. Chapter 7. Gordon Cooper Goes to Space. 1963. On May 15, 1963, astronaut Gordon Cooper soared into history aboard Mercury Atlas 9, the final mission of NASA's Mercury program. As he launched into orbit, he carried with him not just scientific instruments, but the hopes of a nation striving to master space. Over the next 34 hours, Cooper circled the Earth 22 times, becoming the first American to spend more than a full day in space and the first to sleep in orbit. But this mission was more than endurance. It was a critical test of spacecraft systems and human capability. Cooper manually piloted the re-entry after an electrical malfunction, proving an astronaut's skill could override technology in moments of crisis. His calm under pressure paved the way for the Gemini and Apollo missions, solidifying NASA's confidence in long-duration spaceflight. Gordon Cooper's mission wasn't just a technological achievement, it was a milestone in human determination, resilience, and the relentless push toward the stars. Chapter 8. Van Gogh's portrait sets record. 1990. On May 15, 1990, the art world was shaken when Vincent van Gogh's haunting masterpiece, Portrait of Dr. Gachet, sold at auction for an astonishing $82.5 million, the highest price ever paid for a painting at the time. Created in the final months of Van Gogh's life, the portrait of Dr. Paul Gachet, the physician who cared for him in his last days, radiates deep emotional intensity. The doctor's weary expression and the swirling, expressive brushwork reflect Van Gogh's own struggle with mental illness and his remarkable sensitivity as an artist. The painting's vivid blues, melancholic mood, and expressive composition resonated with collectors and historians alike. It wasn't just a record-breaking sale, it was a reaffirmation of Van Gogh's enduring legacy, long after his tragic death in obscurity. The sale brought global attention to his body of work and solidified his reputation as a visionary who changed the course of modern art. Chapter 9. France's first female Prime Minister. 1991. On May 15, 1991, Edith Cresson shattered a historic barrier by becoming France's first female Prime Minister. Her appointment marked a major step toward gender equality in European politics. Though her time in office was short, Cresson's bold leadership challenged long-standing norms and paved the way for future women leaders in France and beyond. From space missions to historic firsts and artistic triumphs, May 15th reminds us how one day can echo through time. If any of these moments spark your curiosity, drop a comment below, we'd love to hear from you. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to Today's History, and ring that bell so you never miss a powerful story from the past. See you tomorrow.